I want the camera to see their face. I want people to see them driving their pride and joy.
Yeah.
I want to be in the passenger seat. I want that camera catching them smiling as they're showing off what they accomplished.
Because that's what it's all about, is showcasing
Exactly.
that.
For me, driving somebody else's car, I didn't build it.
Right.
It's not my story. Who the hell wants to see me driving? I want to see Allison behind the wheel driving that vehicle with a smile on her face and just telling stories about it.
All right. Welcome back to episode 5. I'm Allison, and we have the infamous Jay Thomas.
Yeah, the infamous. Thanks for having me.
This is wonderful. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem at all. You guys sponsor the show, so come on, man. Sam makes the call. It's like, of course I'm going to do this.
Heck yeah.
You guys support the show. I'm going to support you guys.
So I want to jump in right away.
Okay.
Rides with Jay. Let's start at the beginning. How did it start for you?
Oh man, you got like 6 hours for this podcast. It's crazy how it started. Actually, Rides with Jay Thomas was. I've always been a car guy. I mean, I grew up around cars. My buddies were into cars. I had a buddy whose dad ran the body shop at Northwoods Ford in Hibbing, Minnesota. That's my hometown, and so we'd always hang out at his garage even before we were, old enough to drive. Just loved putzing around doing cars. So I've always been a car guy. And the Marcille family, who owns Forum Communications here in Fargo, Bill Marcille Jr., had sent an email out one day and said, hey, we want to do some, they got these sub-TV channels, these, channel whatever, dot whatever. So they wanted to start doing some local programming on them. And said, if anybody's got any ideas, email me. So I'm like, well, the hell with that. I'm not going to email. I'm just going to pick up the phone and call him. So, hey, Bill, I got an idea. I'd like to do a local car show, where we just go look at guys who just, the average guy who's got something cool that, would never have an opportunity to be on TV. And so that's not a bad idea. He goes, let me think about that, and I'll get back to you. So months go by, nothing. And another email comes out about, ideas. I'm like, Bill, I told you about this car idea. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. He goes, let's go have lunch. I'm like, all right, let's go have lunch. So hammered out, tell him here's how I perceive it looking. And he's like, I love this. This is fantastic. He said, all right, let me just get some stuff set up and we'll see what we can do. Nothing. It's like months again. And then I'm doing my radio show from one of the local car shows, one over in Moorhead. And Bill calls me that day, says, hey, you're doing your show at a car show over Moorhead. I said, yeah. He goes, I'm going to send a film crew down. He goes, let's film you. Let's see what we got. I'm like, okay, just out of the blue like that. So if you watch I don't even know if you can find it anymore because I'm with a different company now. I think you can still find it on like Hulu or Amazon, the first like 3 seasons.
First 2 are on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, yeah. And I think Hulu has them too, and Pluto TV. But if you look the very first or second episode, you'll see I'm wearing these nasty like basketball gym shorts and a t-shirt that's just this ratty t-shirt because I was ready to go do my show. I didn't have time to go home and change because he hit me last minute with this. And it was like flipping 90 degrees out that day, 90% humidity. So we're filming. And I remember my camera was Derek and Cody. Yeah, and they come out, okay, so do we cue card this? What do we do? I'm like, bull. I don't know if I can swear on this or not. BS, man. I'm like, no, just turn the damn cameras on. Let me go look at some cars. And they were both like, this guy like knows what he's doing. So they brought it to Bill, and Bill got a hold of me, Bill Marcille Jr. And he said, you know what? This is fantastic. Go. You're going to get it. Let's do a season, see what happens. So that first season, we did. The response I just got on social media. At first, I called guys that I knew. Say, hey, can we film? Yeah. So then I just got on my social media page and put out there, hey, we're looking for this. And we just got bombarded. I mean, just bombarded. So that's really how the whole thing started. And then we did a couple seasons. I was with Click Content Studios at the time, which is owned by Forum. And a contract came up because I do a yearly contract. And I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody was kind of hemming and hawing. And it was almost like, okay, what are you doing here? You playing games with me? And hey, can we want this? I'm not going to get into that stuff, but I was getting ticked off. So then I'm like, well, maybe it's time to move this show. Do I do it on my own? I'm friends with the Sea Boys. And I thought, maybe I'll just call Ryan and the crew at Sea Boys and say, hey, guys, would you be interested in like doing rides? You guys, I'll film, you do all the production. I never made that phone call. Then I remembered Ike Walker. He's the general manager and vice president of Valley News Live here, which is owned by Gray Media. They're the second largest television company in the country. I said, hey, Ike, and Ike's a car guy, so, and I've never talked to Ike before. I think that's the first time I ever talked to Ike.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't remember. I called somebody that I knew him, and I got his personal cell. And somebody goes, hello. And I'm like, Ike, this is Jay Thomas. Holy smoke, what are you calling me about? So I told him, I said, here's what's going on. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, Gray Media just bought Power Nation Television, and they're looking for a show kind of exactly what you do. Because everything on Power Nation TV it's all fixing engines, restoring cars. But he's like, you know what? Let me make some phone calls. And I think it was a day or two later, he gets back to me and goes, oh yeah. He goes, yeah, we're doing this. So we worked all the details out. Now, Gray Media has 113 TV markets around the country. And our goal was Ike's goal was, well, let's see if we can just get some of our upper mid. Maybe we can get on like 20 of the TV state, 20 of the TV markets, in the upper Midwest. And like, oh, that's great, because I was only on, however many Forum Communications owned here in North Dakota, like 3 or 4 markets. They had Bismarck and Minot and all that. So I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. Wow, I'm thinking, holy smokes, 20 stations. If we can get that, he goes, yeah, let's see if we can get the 20. He goes, I got to go down to Miami for corporate meetings, and I'll pitch it down there and see. So was it the next day or 2 days later, he calls me. He goes, you're not going to believe this. They basically are going to pick it up on all their TV markets. They love this show. The head honchos in New York and Miami, in Atlanta, they love this thing.
Oh, wow.
So we hit the ground running with, I think, 93 out of 113 of their markets. And the only reason we didn't get all 113 at first was because they had commitments and contracts, so they couldn't kill those contracts for time slots, whatever. But then slowly, as those went away, those contracts their TV stations picked it up. So then we did a season or two like that. Won our first Emmy, got nominated for multiple Emmys, won our first one a couple of years ago, won another one this year. So
what's that feeling like?
For me, it's funny because they're like, okay, because they hand out the Emmys down in the cities, and you don't know, you're nominated, but you don't know if you're going to win. And for the first 2 or 3 years of rides, my producers submitted, Cody and Derek submitted, and every time they submitted, we got nominated. And every damn time I got beat by Ron Shira. He does the outdoor stuff. So for the longest time, Ron, I hate you, buddy. I did. And of course, that's just joking. I'm like, it's like, you got to be kidding me. Ron Shira again? So then when I moved over to Gray, my guy Wes and Alex and Zach, so they started submitting, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just, Cody and Derek were fantastic at what they did, but the crew I have now, Alex and Zach, and we got a new guy, Ben, who's just phenomenal.
Are they the ones that travel with you?
They all travel with us, and Wes, he's no longer with us. He retired. They submitted, and it was the same thing. We got nominated again. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I remember they go, oh, you're going to go down. I was like, I'm not going down for that. I'm not putting a tux on and doing all that garbage. I'm not going down to the cities. I said, and this was in October. I said, I got to go to my mom's. My mom still lives in Hibbing. I said, I got to go up there because I always help her husband passed away a few years back. So I go up there every fall and help her get everything winterized. She's got 20 acres, a massive home. and she's in her, in her upper 70s. So I go help her. I completely forgot about this. So my mom and I, it's about 9 o'clock at night. We're sitting downstairs in the family room, having some cocktails, watching TV. My phone rings. I'm like, it was Wes. I'm like, I'll talk to him later. I'm hanging out with my mom. A couple of minutes later, my phone rings again. Now it's Ike Watt. I was like, what the hell? Rings again. I'm like, well, it's Alex. What the hell's going on? I completely blanked out. It was Emmy night. I was like, well, I better answer this. So I answered it.
Are you going to get in trouble for admitting that you denied Ike's phone call?
No, not at all. Because they know the story, man. So Ike calls me back, and he was like, well, what the hell? I said, Mom, let me grab this. Yeah, and he goes, are you sitting down? I'm like, yeah, I'm sitting here with my mom having cocktails, man. What the hell? He goes, we won. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, the Emmy. I'm like, oh, that's right. The Emmys were tonight. He goes, yeah, Rides won an Emmy. We got the Emmy. We beat everybody out. So I'm like, holy smokes, man. So that was our first one. And then this year, we submitted 3 entries, and we got nominated for all 3. And the same thing, you're going down? It's like, no, I'm not going down. And that night, I get a call. Jay, you're not going to believe this. We won again. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So, I mean, to be recognized like that, I mean, it's cool because there's hundreds and hundreds of submissions, and there's so many different categories. And, to win it, it's like, wow, that says something, because the people that judge, now we're upper Midwest, so the people that judge all the upper Midwest stuff are like on the East Coast. They know nothing about, and it's the same thing. If you're submitting for the Eastern region, then they'll have somebody in another part of the country. So yeah, I mean the Emmys, that says something, So
what did you submit for this last round?
We did the Sea Boys in one category. We spent the whole day, the entire episode was with the Sea Boys, which we thought for sure that thing was going to win. And then we did an old steam engine down in South Dakota. This dude built it. He got the actual blueprints for an old steam thresher, and he built this thing. He owns a foundry down in South Dakota.
Oh, wow.
And every single nut and bolt his foundry made, and he built one. So we submitted that. And then the one, you're not going to believe this, Allison, I can't remember which one won. Which one? I can't remember which one won. Oh, you got me now.
Well, you said you did 3.
Yeah, so there's one, and the other one that we submitted, that's the one that won.
Gotcha.
This year, and I can't, for the life of me, I can't believe. I suppose I could look on my phone and see. Now I got to look on my phone and see. This is embarrassing, man. I can't believe you think you know the ones that won.
That's all right. We can cut all this out.
No, you leave it all in. That's on the show. You know what I get the most response for? The bloopers at the end.
Yeah.
We did one show and we completely blanked out the bloopers. We didn't even catch it in post-production.
Yeah. It's
like, oh yeah, that looks good. And it airs, and the emails from around it's
where
crazy.
Are the bloopers?
They didn't give a damn about the cars. How come aren't you guys doing bloopers anymore? It's like, what are they talking about? Go back and watch, like, holy smokes, we forgot to do bloopers at the end of this one.
There were some episodes where you could, if you weren't watching the TV, you could definitely tell where the bloopers were, because it's like every other word was bleeped out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's times when I get a little frustrated. And then sometimes too, my guys will they'll egg me on, get me going,
just to get you going,
just to get me going.
Those are my kind of people.
Yeah, I'll find it later. I can't believe I can't remember that. So anyway, so when we won our Emmy, our second one, then a production or a syndication company. I don't know if Ike reached out to them or they reached out to us, but. Excuse me, Telco out of California, they do a ton of shows, syndicate. They picked up the show. I think they reached out to us for syndication, and they worked out the deal and said, okay, we'll see what we can do. That was in, I think, February of last year. So April rolls around, Ike's, hey Ike, how are we doing with syndication? He goes, yeah, I'm just not hearing anything from them. So it's like, well, crap, maybe the show, they just can't, because their job is to pitch it to all these TV markets around the country. And don't hear nothing. Then he hears back, goes, it's slow. They picked up a couple. I'm like, well, if it doesn't get big deal, we'll just keep it, on all the gray stations around the country. So then I get a call from Ike one Saturday. He goes, what are you and Alex doing? He goes, I got to talk to you about rides. You don't like getting that call. Ike, sometimes you can be a real ass, buddy. I'm like, what? I go, what's going on? He goes, we should probably talk in person about this. He goes, let's go grab a drink and grab a bite to eat and we'll talk. And I'm like, I'm guessing probably that's it. They're done. We're just not going to do the show anymore. So we go meet up and sit down, and he goes, you better have a beer first. I'm just like,
no.
I'm just sitting there. My stomach is just like, well, it was a fun run and all that. And he goes, I heard from Telco. We're in 110 million homes now. They picked up 180 some TV markets. He said there's 210 TV markets in America. We're in 183 or whatever it is of all the TV markets.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, you suck, dude. I said, do you know how sick to my stomach? He goes, you know what? He goes, it's funny because Roxy, that's his wife. She told me, don't do that to Jay. Just tell him. Don't. He goes, no, I got to mess with him, man. So yeah, it's like, are you kidding me? And and you're going down the list. I mean, it's Miami, Los Angeles, San Diego. I mean, and every small market in between. The only markets we did not get New York City. We did not get Dallas. We did not get Boston. So I'm here to tell you folks right now, found out just not too long ago, got a call again from Ike. Another one of his, are you sitting down calls? I go, yeah, Ike, I'm at a commercial break right now. I'm doing my radio show. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in the studio. He goes, we just picked up WNBC TV in New York City. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? The number one market in the country. That's like how many millions of people on top of all the people we have now. And he goes, oh, by the way, we picked up NBC in Dallas, Texas, and we got Boston. So we're in every major market now in the country.
That's phenomenal.
So it's just been, wow, it's fantastic.
How long ago did you get that news?
About a day ago.
Oh, really? Yeah. So this is fresh.
Yeah, this is fresh. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you absolutely partied last night.
Yeah, and then knowing I had to come up and do this today, and I got to do a radio show this afternoon and get ready for. Isn't this crazy? So what do you call yesterday? Spring. Let's call today summer. It's going to be 70 with thunderstorms, and then tomorrow we have a damn blizzard.
Well, it's every year.
Yeah. So it's been a crazy few days. It's gonna be a crazy couple days coming up too. So yeah, so that's basically the whole background. I know I rambled on forever, but
that's the empire that you've built so far.
I don't know if I'd call it an empire. I mean, I wish it was, but I mean, yeah, it's grown. We got full clothing line now, and my main job is doing radio. I've been in radio for over 40 years. I love radio, and this is just I probably shouldn't say this on camera, but I'm not doing it for the money.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it because I love cars. And these guys that you deal with, they are so nice. I have met the nicest men and women too. I mean, we're getting more and more women now which is great because the ladies are into cars too. And so we're getting more and more women that are reaching out with we're going to go up here in a couple weeks up to Grand Forks. There's a gal up there and I can't remember what her name is, but her and her son, built some really cool, not rat rod, but just old school shoebox Fords. And her young son did them on their own, and they are so cool.
Yeah.
So she's just a gearhead, and so we're looking forward to going to film her. But everybody you meet is so nice. But it's never about it's never been about the money. It's nice to have some money, extra money coming in. I need it for the sign addiction that I have. But it's meeting guys and hanging out and, just BSing about cars or, days gone by, whatever. That's what this is all about. We see some stuff though, Allison, is so over the top collections and, whether it's cars or signs or motorcycles or whatever. And we've had more and more of those on rides, and I love doing those. But what I've noticed is people will reach out and go, yeah, I'd love to be on the show, but I don't have a collection like that. It's like That's not what the show's about. So
Yeah.
I want to kind of back away from that a little bit, maybe do a couple really over-the-top collections a season. But the show's always been about, Frank next door, who's put his heart and soul, his blood, sweat, and tears into his car. It's his pride and joy. And no national television show is ever going to pick it up because these shows, nothing against these shows. Some of these guys are my buddies that have these national shows. But they're all, most of them are about, okay, restoring a car, doing this. In these cars, the money, to have one of these cars built, to have it done right, you're six figures easily. When you got the guy next door down the block who's got a car that's just as nice, and he did it himself, or him and his buddies got together. And those are the vehicles we love doing because they've got a story to them.
Right.
We get a lot of people that will request, or send in a request. They'll either email or somehow find a way to get a hold of me. I don't know how you people get my phone number. Hey, I just bought this car or whatever. It's like, you know what? That's a great car, but that's not what we're looking for. It's got to have a story. It's all about the story. And if you notice, I try to let the person that we're interviewing do all the talking. Let them tell their story.
Notice that immediately. You don't talk a lot in those shows.
I don't, because, I don't want to go in there telling them about their car. Oh, that's a tri-power. No, let them tell the story because they're the ones that are proud of it. And that's something else. If you watch all the episodes, how many seasons now under my belt, there's only one. Is it one? One vehicle I've driven. That's it.
Yeah, you're always the passenger.
Do you know why? And
Why?
all these guys want me to drive their vehicles because I want the camera to see their face. I want people to see them driving their pride and joy.
Yeah.
I want to be in the passenger seat. I want that camera catching them smiling as they're showing off what they accomplished.
Because that's what it's all about, is showcasing
Exactly.
that.
For me, driving somebody else's car, I didn't build it.
Right.
It's not my story. Who the hell wants to see me driving? I want to see Allison behind the wheel driving that vehicle with a smile on her face and just telling stories about it.
Yeah.
So that's why you'll never see me. I did the old, was it last season or season before? The old milk truck that was hot rodded out. And the only reason I did that was because when we pulled up, I'm from Hibbing, Minnesota, up on the Iron Range, up in the Arrowhead region. When we pulled up and I saw that milk truck delivered milk to my home when I was growing up, when I was a kid. It was the same dairy,
Oh, wow.
Arrowhead Dairy. I'm like, because when we always see pictures and sometimes videos of what we're going to, because that's how we determine, okay, we're going to do this one. And it didn't even, it didn't even dawn. I'm looking, I go, oh, that is cool. That's an old, I think, 40s milk truck, and it's been lowered, but it still has all the original emblems on the side, all that untouched.
Yeah.
And so when we pulled up, and it's up in North Moorhead, but when we pulled up, I'm like, looked over at my producer, Wes, and the guys, guys, that freaking milk truck delivered milk to my house when I was growing up in Hibbing, because Arrowhead was out of Duluth, but they had, trucks around the Iron Range. So I had to drive that truck.
Right.
I had to drive that truck.
That's sentimental value.
Yep. And let me tell you something. That thing was so hard to steer. Even with the big steering wheel. I mean, I can't get the, and you don't see it. You see a little bit in the bloopers, but that damn thing would not start. I bet we spent 45 minutes trying to get that thing to start, and it finally started. But yeah, that's the only one you'd see me drive. That's it.
I think the heart of the show is why it's becoming so successful. And you're not seeing celebrities on there. And I know you and I were talking about this shortly beforehand.
We were.
Why is that?
Well, and we've had, and I'm not going to name drop. We've had some pretty big name celebrities. I mean, big, mainly from the music world. I don't think we've had any actors. Just say we've had, I mean, world famous.
Yeah.
From both country and rock, reach out, and it's like, damn, how cool would that be to have so and so on the show? Or but if you start doing that, then I think it takes away from the show, because now you're Because once you do one, then you're going to get more. Hey, I want to be on. It's going to be like the cool thing to do. Hey, I was on. Okay, I want to. I don't want the show to be. I want the show to be the guys next door, the gals next door. Just like you said, the people that would never have that opportunity to show America what they've got. So there's one. You and I were talking off camera. There's one that we're contemplating, just because. He's a major rock star. Can we say that?
Yeah.
You know who it is. He's a major rock star, but his vehicles he has built himself. He hasn't paid some shop to build them.
Mm-hmm.
He's done all the work, and he takes them out. He lives in California, Northern California, and he takes them out to the local car shows. He'll just go out, and he's just one of the guys. Even though he's a world famous rock star, he's just one of the guys.
Yeah.
So we're kind of contemplating that one, but no, I just want it to be, just your average everyday person.
What I really enjoyed about watching this is this area doesn't really get a lot of recognition.
No.
Especially in something like this. It's always down south on one of the coasts, somebody that everybody knows, like a celebrity.
Yeah.
But to see like Hillsboro or Dickinson or Grand Forks or somewhere in Minnesota, and now you're all across the states. Mm-hmm. Like the show continues to grow, and it's from people here.
Yeah, it started here.
Yeah,
and you know who really? I absolutely love Dickinson, North Dakota. I go out there a couple times a year. The Prairie Cruisers car club out there, great guys. I go out there. The wife and I go out there in July for their big car show in the park that brings hundreds of cars, thousands of people. But Donnie Height, one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. Him and I have become great friends. I met him a few years back at the Toppers Car Show, which is coming up too, by the way.
Yes, it is.
I met him there. Donnie had Dave Kindig build his car called Mischief, his Pontiac. And Donnie's car was the only car that Bitch and Rise did 2 full episodes of, because the build was that extraordinary. It took that much work. That car it's stunning. But he was showing it, unveiling the car at the Toppers Car Show a couple of years back when he got it back, and the guys from our club said, "Hey," because I always do my radio show there on setup days. Said, "Hey, Donnie's going to be here with Mischief. You want to interview him?" And I'm like, "Oh, I never met Donnie before. Heard of him, never met him." Interviewed him on my radio show. Got to talking with him. Told him about the car show, the TV show, because the TV show was just pretty much fresh. I told him what we were doing. He's like, "Yeah, that's pretty exciting." I said, "Man, I'd love to feature, Mischief on the show. We had to check and make sure that there's no, problems with Dave Kindig's Bitch and Ride show, and there was nothing. And he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Yeah," he goes, "I got some guys out in Dickinson. I got some really nice cars and some." And back at that time, we called, instead of every episode, we do a hangout where you go hang out and the guys, it's got all his memorabilia signs and stuff. We call it "What's in Your Garage." He goes, "Yeah, I got some guys out there that got some really cool sign collection stuff." He goes, "Yeah, let's do something." So we set up the trip to go out to Dickinson. That was my first time ever going to Dickinson, North Dakota. Longest drive on the planet. Now it's easy. It's like driving from here to Moorhead. Went out there, met his Clive Turner, Gene Hoyt, and Donnie. They're like the 3 amigos out there. Those are the guys. Filmed them, met them, and we've all just become good friends. They were so nice. So they got us now. They get us hooked up with all kinds of stuff. They get us into places that there's no way anybody'd be able to get into. Yeah, the guys in Dickinson, I give them a ton of credit for a lot of the success of the show, because in the beginning, yeah, there was stuff around here, but they were the ones that were able to really get us hooked up with some just crazy.
Because they already had such a following.
They've known everybody. They've been in the car world for years, but yeah, now we're I can say that all of us are best friends, just great guys. But Dickinson, really, those guys out there helped the show. And I don't want to leave anybody else out, but But if it wasn't for, I honestly think if it wasn't for, because to this day, you and I were talking, and we can talk about it if you want. I've only met like one person that was really didn't want to be on the show. It was a last minute shoot. We were down in Sioux Falls, South Dakota filming. And when we get on the road and go like that, we want to get a week's worth of filming in, make it, because it's expensive to haul all that equipment and hotels and everything else. So we have everything lined up. We're usually shooting from, 7 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night the whole time, Somebody had backed out, and it was one of our hangout shoots. Like, oh, damn. So the guy that we were filming, we asked him, he said, hey, we just had a guy back out, man. Do you know anybody here that's got down here that's got just a cool hangout that we can go film to fill that spot? And Terry Dahmer, yeah, Terry, I'll give you a shout out. Terry's like, let me make a phone call. He said, I might know a guy. I don't know. He's pretty quiet about his stuff and standoffish. He goes, but let me call him. So he calls him and he goes, yeah, you know what? He'll do it. He's kind of reluctant, but he'll do it.
Yeah.
So okay, all right, great. So we go to film that, and when we pull up, Wes, my former producer, is retired now. He always goes in first to talk to the guy, meet the guy, whatever, before we go and start setting up cameras. And I'll never forget, man. Wes is he's a big dude. Wes is fantastic because Wes is in his mid-60s, so he can talk to these guys. He's a car guy too, born and raised car. So when he's calling people to set up shoots, he'll start BSing with the guys. He gets along with everybody. He comes walking. The place was called the Ritz. He comes walking out of there, and I'm looking at him, and his head's kind of hung. And he, like I said, he's a big dude, and his head's kind of hung down. He's walking up the truck. I'm like, oh man, is this guy back out? I rolled down the window. I go, what? He goes, I don't know, man. This guy's pretty standoffish. This is going to be a tough one. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, work your magic, Jay. I'm like, dude, you're the guy that works the magic, man. I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do. Well, and I always wear cowboy boots. So, and I have my snakeskin boots on. Happen to have them on, and I go, okay, let me go in there and introduce myself, talk to the guy, and open the door, and the guy's got snakeskin boots on, and he's an older dude. And I'm like, nice boots. And he's like, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
He goes, what brand are yours? I'm like, mine are Corral. Oh, you wear Corral? Now these are Lucchese. And I said, who are you trying to impress?
Yeah.
Just kiddingly, And I was like, I should have done that. So I'm looking, and I start noticing Trump stuff around his bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, and I kind of looked to Wes, and I think Wes finally caught it, and I'm like, okay, I'm in.
This is gonna be easy.
I'm in, because if whether you folks like it or not, I'm a Trump guy. Okay, I'm proud of it. So I just start talking Trump with him, and you could just see him start to smile.
Yeah,
he's like
starts to kind of loosen up a little bit.
He's loosening up, and we're talking Trump, we're talking Biden, and we're having a good old time. And that was it. And then somehow I tie this back to Dickinson. He's good friends with Donnie out in Dickinson. And I start bringing up, there was something, I can't remember what it was in the bar area. And he had mentioned, because I was like, God, that's really nice. He goes, yeah, I got that from a guy out. Oh, it was a Pontiac sign, I think. I got it out from a guy out in Dickinson. I said, was it Donnie Height? Yeah, son of a bitch. Yeah, it was Donnie Height. You know Donnie? I'm like, you know what? Let's call Don right now.
Yeah.
And this is all off camera, before. So I've called, put him on speaker, and so they're BS. We're all BSing. And after that guy was a blast.
Yeah.
He took us out in cars, took us through. I mean, we had a great shoot with him. Then we leave, and he gave us Ritz jackets, and because his place is called the Ritz too, like Ritzy. Great, but that's the only person that was ever really standoffish in the beginning.
And it was just in the beginning. It wasn't even during the entire shoot.
No, that guy had a blast,
yeah.
man.
You made his day, his year.
Oh, we could have stayed the night at the Ritz if we wanted to. I mean, he once we broke that ice, there's a lot of guys we get to that will just reach out and say, hey Jay, I've got this collection, and they'll send me pictures. Or they'll send it to my producers through the Rides website. And it's like, oh, wow, All right, I'll get a hold of him. Yeah, dude, we really want to film this.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it filmed. I want you to come take a look. I'm like, well, you know,
That's not the point.
I'm not being a jerk. It's just I don't have time with radio and this and everything else. I don't have time just to, go. I'd love to if it was a week. The number one reason why they won't do it, I'm not kidding. They do not want the government to know what they have.
Interesting.
You know what? Well, think about it, because I'm like, what the government doesn't give. And then I'm like, a lot of these guys got these collections 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And as these cars skyrocket in value and these signs, I've paid $5,000 for a sign. That's chump change. I mean, this stuff is, they're afraid that they're going to be on TV. IRS is going to see it and start doing some digging. So it makes sense. So you don't see it too often, but there's some episodes where if you look, or you'll notice we won't say the town, we won't say the state. You will not see license plates. Those are the guys that, come film.
I've noticed that.
I do not want. We did one in the region, I'll say. The guy has, it's $1 million car from the 60s. $1 million. Easily. Probably get more than that. And we had to make sure that he wanted to be on the show. It's like, the car is stunning. And it's all original. I mean, it is stunning. But we had to make sure that anything that would give anybody any kind of idea where he lived.
So you don't have like his house or any other car.
You see a little bit of the house for a little bit because the house is very unique. Because he doesn't want, because the car he has, the entire world of people, anybody that collects those cars or wants one of those anywhere around the world would be hunting him down.
Yeah.
That's how rare this car is and how valuable this car is.
Oh, wow.
So we had to be meticulous. I mean, right down to, okay, make sure there's, the mailbox isn't there. The house numbers aren't there. We can't focus on the house. When we're shooting the vehicle, the garage doors are open because he had stuff in the garage. We had to make sure that there was nothing in there that's, mentioned a town or a state or anything. So
that's not something I would have ever thought of or considered. That was
Isn't that crazy?
Concern.
But if you think about it, Allison,
I get it. I just
you could
would have
buy,
never
like prime example, Bandit Trans Ams now. You're not going to touch a Bandit Trans Am for less than 60, 70,000. A good one. 15 years ago, you could get them for less than $10,000. These cars are all skyrocketing. So, like I said, a lot of these guys started their collections, 30, 40 years ago. These cars didn't have the value. And, they put a ton of money into them. So that brings the value up. And, we're the government. We're here to help. Yeah, you help take take more money out of my pocket. So yeah, they're actually, we're going to film this guy. We try to get into his place. This will be a hangout segment. This guy's hangout, and it's here in the area. We've been trying to get in there for 2-3 years, and he just wouldn't do it. He would not do it, and it was the same. I don't
Same
want.
reason.
And then he reached out to us, said, you know what? He's Jay. I got to be on the show. I said, but dude, he goes, no, I know. He goes, we just have to be careful. We can't say where I live. I said, we won't say the state. Definitely won't say the town. We'll make sure that there's no way anybody could watch that show, see a license plate, we'll make sure. This place is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And
So when do you get to film him?
he's just finishing up. He redid the bar in there. These guys all got bars, just beautiful bars.
Well, yeah.
$200,000 worth of signs and memorabilia, and they all got bars. You go out to Dickinson, these guys got full-blown kitchens with marble countertops, Wolf appliances. It's ridiculous. But this place that we're going to do, he decided to replace the bar, so he had a new bar top put on. And in the bar top, he's got all these old hood ornaments and rare auto emblems and stuff, and they're all epoxied over.
Yeah.
So he's getting that all polished out and stuff. So probably within 2 weeks we'll be there to film it.
That's pretty cool.
And that'll come up on this new season of rides.
Now I'm going to pay attention to that. Like, what did they cut out? What are they not showing?
We'll show everything, but yeah, you'll see no mention of where anybody can go, oh, he's in that state, or oh, he lives in that town. Oh, there's a license plate. Okay, we can, yeah. And those are the episodes or segments where Alex and Zach and Ben, they got to sit down and go over it, just make sure, then send it to me, get a new set of eyes on it, and make sure that there's nothing. Yeah. Because, you got to protect these guys. A lot of these guys, they're like, nah, I don't care.
Do they ever reach back out like after the episode and it's aired and say what they like or didn't like?
We've never had anybody complain, but a lot of these guys will reach back out. Hey, I got this, I want to be back on. It's like, no, guys, you were just on, maybe a few years down the road, but no, we can't. Yeah. We can't repeat. But no, we've never had anybody go, no, they're always, they'll be emailing or texting when the show is on. Because everybody that we film has my personal cell phone number, just in case, hey, if there's something, a question or anything. So they'll text me, oh my God, I can't believe how great that. Because like when we film a segment, it usually segments end up being right around 6 minutes long. Some a little longer, but then if one's a little longer, another one's got to be shorter. Because you have, 20, I think we have 22 minutes and 30 seconds, or maybe it's 21 now that we're national because of the national ads have to run. I think it's 22:30, but anyway, it'll take a few hours just to film one vehicle because you go up there, you film, then my guys got to do all the B-roll on it. And when we're filming, the people can't believe, and we tell them ahead of time, look, we're going to be there. It's going to take about this much time. And then, well, how long, when it's on the show, how long will my part be? It's about 6 minutes. Yeah. Really? 6 minutes for all the, it's like, trust me. Yep. But now that the show's been on long enough, they know, they're just like, I can't believe that you got all that in 6 minutes. And that 6 minutes seemed like it was 20 minutes. Because Alex, like I said, Alex, Zach, and Ben are just brilliant at what they do. They got it down, man. Right.
I was going to ask you kind of what are your favorites, like if you have any favorites or some that tug on your heartstrings, but you've already been kind of talking about
asking me what my favorite kid is.
Right.
I will say,
even though everyone knows there's always just a little bit of a favorite.
There is.
Yeah.
I would have to say they all stand out, but there's two that to this day, and I'm very good friends with both these people now. We've become really good friends. The most shocking, and I remember I brought my buddy down with me, former Fargo Police Chief Dave Todd, because he's a Mopar guy, and we're best friends too. And it was called the Hemi Hideout outside of Houston, Texas, the largest freestanding timber structure in the state of Texas. John Hovis, nicest guy. Somebody had sent me a video from YouTube, said, Jay, you should see if you can get into this place. And I'm looking at him, it's like, this is, I've never seen anything like this in my life. So did some digging, was able to get a hold of the person that basically handles inquiries for the Hemi Hideout for John, Sherry. I'm sorry. Reached out, told her who we were, go check out what we do. And at the time, then you could see episodes were still on Amazon and Pluto TV. And she got back, said, yeah, John would love to have you guys down here. So we built a trip around that down in Houston. So then when we're talking to John, said, hey, you got any other guys down here? We want to make this a whole week-long trip. We're going to come all the way down to Houston. And he got us hooked up with some crazy stuff. Those boys in Houston or Texas don't mess around, man. So you pull up to the Hemi Hideout. It is the most stunning thing you've ever seen. This thing is massive. It is massive. And he comes out, hey, Big J, how you doing? I don't want you to come in here. My buddy Dave Todd, he's just like, he's in shock. We're all in shock. It's like, this this is not what the pictures look like. It's so huge and over the top. And he goes, Wes goes in with him. Wes comes out. Wes is just like, his jaws dropped. He's like, he goes, I don't even know where we're going to start. He goes, you can't believe this. He said, here's what John wants to do. He's going to have you come in and walk in the dark. And there's going to be one little light. They've got a big, big Hemi Hideout emblem on the floor. And it's an elephant with a big Hemi engine strapped to its back. And John wants you to stand on that with Dave. And then he's just going to start turning sections on because there's so much stuff in there. It's in phases. So we're standing. This is all.
So you didn't get to see all of it.
No.
So when they were turning that on, there was some...
Dave, Todd, and I are standing in the middle of the Hemi Hideout logo. And it's just massive. And John's like, all right, Big J, Dave, you ready? And he hits the first switch in a big section. And we're just like, then he hits another one. And I think it was 7 or 8 sections. And you can't wrap your head around what you're seeing. The signs, the Mopars, the cars that he has, they're all Mopars. They are just over the freaking top stunning, but it's the signs. He has the rarest signs on planet Earth. He's got neon signs from when neons first came out that are still in the box. They put them in like 2x4s and ship them that way back then. They're hanging in those shipping containers lit. He's got the world's largest, and I think it's the only one, fossilized piece of wood. It's a table. It's the biggest one in the world. It looks like it's all marble. It's wood.
Oh, wow.
He's got a T-Rex head. But the signs and the cars, and I don't know if you can bring some up during the podcast. You can't. To this day, I can't. I've never seen anything like that. I don't know if I ever will. And to this day, I talk to John all the time. And the great thing now, because he's the one that got me into signs. He sent me back home. He's like, Jay, we're gonna get you into signs. I'm like, John, I can't afford this hobby, man.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, BS. Big J goes, I'm gonna drop ship a couple signs up to West Fargo. I'm gonna get you into this thing. So in the mail one day shows up a 1930s 8-foot, I believe it's an 8-foot or 7-foot BF Goodrich Tires porcelain sign, a White Rose Ethel sign. It's like, I call him, I say, John, I can't accept. You know what these signs are? I can't. He goes, no, they're yours. He goes, now you got the bug.
No.
And I did. So now, I mean, I have amassed a sign collection that is ridiculous. But anytime I see a sign and I have a question, I can pick up the phone and call John. John, I'm looking at this right now. Big J, send me some pictures. I need to say a picture of this. He's, I'll tell you if it's real or not, and I'll tell you what you pay for it every single time. And within minutes, he'll be back. He'll say, Jay, that's a great deal. Or Jay, nope, offer him this or walk away. Yep, that's real. And 2 times he's saved me from repops.
Really?
That I was ready to drop some serious money on.
How is he able to tell?
He's been doing this so long. He actually has, at the Hemi Hideout, he's got another business. He's got guys that they restore signs. So, I mean, you go into that shop and that's featured in that. One whole episode is the Hemi Hideout. That's featured in there back there. The sign shop is, and the guys that work back there too they've been doing it for decades. They know.
They just know.
They know exactly what to look for. Yeah, John will just like, nope, fake.
Thank God you have that.
Yep, real. Pay this for it.
So how much was one of them that you were going to drop money on?
About $3,000.
Ooh.
And it was worth about $100.
Oh.
But that's the problem. And any guys out there, gals even watching this, that are into the signs, you know that the repop business has they've become so good at making these things look patina. Mm-hmm. There's the Hemi Hideout right there.
Oh, wow.
That's just part of it. That's part of it. There's the logo on the floor. Those signs, every one of those, that's the real deal, Allison. Those are real.
Oh, wow.
That is just part of it. He's got a full...
And you just stood in the middle, and then he was just turning lights on.
And then we got sealed, and then we just started walking around, and you'll have to watch the episode. You can't... Yeah.
And this is just his hangout place.
So it's the largest free standing timber structure in the state of Texas. That's that place. Yeah. Like those, you can't, and it's open to the public.
Really?
Yeah. You can't just walk in, but you can call down there and see what times are and go in there and look at everything.
I get why you don't want celebrities on the show to kind of keep it more closer to the home and heart. But I wouldn't think of this as something that people wouldn't want to see still.
That's why we did this.
Yeah.
And we're still going to do stuff like this. I just like to keep it to maybe one or two a season. Like we went to we were in Florida filming. We went to Florida and filmed for a week. And we did the American, look at those cars. That's why I brought my buddy Dave with, because he's a Mopar guy. These cars are stunning. Wow. Look at the floors. Look at the floor. And I can't remember how many tens of thousands of square feet. Find a picture of the outside of it, Sam, if you can. There should be scrolling through there somewhere where there's an outside shot of it.
Good Lord.
I've got them. Well, that's not going to help you. I've got them on my phone. But the outside, and then you walk out. There you go. Is that our episode or is that? Yeah, that's us. Is that? Yeah, hit that. Hit that. I think that might be his stuff.
Is it going to load?
Yeah, it's the bar outside alone out back. You can sit out back and shoot wild hogs when they come through the land. He's got a full bar back there. All the bar stools are horse saddles.
Yeah.
The signs. Yeah, there's the front of it.
Good Lord.
That's just, but that's just, you're not even seeing the whole structure.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you start pulling up, you're about a mile away. You can see this thing, and you're like, "Are you kidding me? That's where we're going." Okay. The other one, and to this day, we're very good friends. My buddy Jay Shervin, who's up in the Park River, North Dakota area. He's another one. The car collection that he has, there's nothing spectacular, but he's a Pontiac guy. He's just got tons of cool cars. The signs, the memorabilia. His house, he had an indoor swimming pool, I believe 12-foot deep diving board. He took the swimming pool out, 12 truckloads of dirt to fill it in, concreted over so he could put his 60s GTO in the house. And then he started doing sign collecting and memorabilia collecting. And that entire area where the pool is in the house. Then you go in the basement, same thing. Then you walk out to a massive barn that he had moved onto his property. And it's cars in there. And there are so many signs and memorabilia. And to this day, Jay, you still won't sell me. There you go. They're sitting in the Hemi hideout. Oh, there you go. Did you get it running? Yeah, Jay's place was, and it's not crazy like this. It's just, how do you? There's the Hemi hideout. Look at that.
Oh wow.
Isn't that's still not the whole thing. There's side rooms. There's John. Yeah, the nicest man you'll ever meet. He's just. What did he tell us? It was like 20, 30 years ago. He didn't have a pot to piss in.
Yeah.
And he's engineer and
doing very well now.
Yeah. It's just, look how crazy that is. Those are all real. That's all the real deal. That's right there. That's real.
I saw the episode with Dave where he had the in Fargo here, where he's got the Texaco sign, and you guys were
my buddy Dave.
Yeah.
He's another one. We go back and forth on signs all. Yeah, there's the stage when they decide they're gonna have party in there. There's the back bar. That's outside. That's the bar out back. There's the diner he built.
And then he has actual staff in these places, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's got like 3-4 people that work for him. That's it. He's got one guy he travels with, older guy, that they just go around looking for signs around the country, go to auctions. Yeah, there you go. That's the Hemi hideout.
Oh, wow.
That's his hideout. Yeah. So yeah, we've seen some great stuff, man. It's a blast.
Even though these people are out here building like dreams, I feel like you're living You're living.
I get to
what
live
people
through
would
them,
want.
man.
Yeah.
I get to live through them. Yeah.
Some people want to build it, and some people want to see everything.
Do you know what's crazy? And these guys, too, when we were down in Arizona, we did the whole episode on the lowriders down there.
Yeah.
Man, did we have a blast with those guys. It's crazy now because, especially up here, a lot of these guys, we went to a place, I'll just say it's kind of in the Minot region. We go to a place, Roger Neesham, another great guy, unbelievable. He drove NASCAR. We go to his place because everybody's telling us you got to go film Roger. You can't believe the Mopar collection he's got. He's got Richard Petty's old cars, and I'm like, what? So of course you always Google Map, We Google it and we get there, and we're like, no, this can't be the place. So I tell this was back when I was with Click, and I tell Cody, so Cody, call Roger. This Google Maps is all messed up. We're lost. Say, Roger, calls him. It's like, Roger, we can't find your place. He's like, you're here. It's like, what? You're here. And he comes walking out of this house. Well, the house he came walking out of, Roger doesn't live on that property. The house that's where his farmhands live there. And there's this big, just rickety old, looks like he's going to fall down building. And it's like, that can't be it. Well, of course, inside, it's all just beautiful steel structure.
He doesn't need anybody knowing what's going on in there.
Exactly. And there's a couple places like that too out in Dickinson.
Yeah.
Where it just looks like it's a barn falling over, but it's not. It's inside is a building built. Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
smart.
Very smart. Yeah. Yep. Very, very smart. But now, we're on the road and we're driving the back roads in North Dakota or Minnesota or whatever. And we see old buildings and we're all of us just like, you wonder what's in that building. Now you wonder at every building you go by, what's in that. There's buildings here in town that are like that too. There's a couple places we filmed. Same thing. It's like you would never know that stuff was in that building.
Right.
Yeah, it's nuts.
There's three episodes from season 6. Each one of them I really liked for different reasons. This one with the clip that I think we're gonna show.
Okay.
Is the lowrider one.
Lowrider style.
Phenomenal.
Out in Phoenix.
Phenomenal bit you guys did there. But I had a very good laugh to myself watching you getting jostled around.
Oh, man, that blazer.
Yeah.
That.
I'm pretty sure I saw your head hit the headliner at one point.
I'll tell you, I just wanted to hit the hot tub at the hotel that night. And Gray always puts us up in great hotels. They don't spare any expenses. And wouldn't you know it, the hot tub was out of order. Oh, I was mad. Yeah, the gambler. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, and they call it potato chipping. If you notice, you'll hear Kevin in there. He's yeah, I'm potato chipping. Well, what the potato chipping is, and we look at that airbrushing. Isn't that amazing? How realistic that is.
I love that he kept
he kept the old,
that on there.
Yeah, just wet sanded and then re-cleared it. Potato chipping is you should be able to drop that thing low enough where you can you can crunch a potato chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do. They can drop them that low, but that thing bounced, man.
I laughed. Sorry.
And that was another one.
You see
the bloopers too. He couldn't get it started, so he had to push
him.
Start it. Yeah.
And then in that episode, they had the Sebring.
Yes.
And I thought, okay, but then when he lifted it up and you saw all the gold underneath,
and all the etching.
Yeah,
and that's what he does.
That he does himself.
Yeah, we went back in his shop, and that's what he. Well, you saw we show one plate took a week.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing a plate for somebody's Lincoln.
And was he teaching his son how to do that?
His son was learning how to do. Yeah, there we go. We're bouncing around. I'm trying to hold a GoPro camera. I'm like, guys, this ain't gonna work. And he hold a GoPro. Yeah.
I was thinking to myself as I was watching it, like, why would you want to do that after just seeing both of you?
And that thing is, I mean, there's Big Kev.
Yep.
Right there. That thing that's huge out there. Huge out there.
And then just because you can.
Yeah. And that's it. Just because you can. Yeah. There,
You can see the
I'm
tires.
not, man. And as cushioned as those seats are, they ain't that comfortable.
Yeah, when you're getting thrown
Yeah,
around.
you're getting slammed around, man. I mean, you are getting bounced around, tossed around. and the noise. I mean, you hear it on the show, but when you're actually there in the truck,
It's pretty loud.
So it sounds like the whole thing's just gonna disintegrate. And yeah, flipping it and twisting it. And it's like, man.
How excited were those guys?
They had a blast. And then cars kept showing up.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, bring them. Guys, we plan on spending the whole day here, so bring them. Let's bring it. So they're making phone calls, and these low riders are showing up, cars, trucks.
What did you enjoy about that?
Just, it was, really learning the history of low riders, where it came from, and just the pride that they take in their vehicles. I mean, these paint jobs are so over the top. I mean, we see beautiful paint jobs, but the airbrushing, the talent you saw. I mean, you open the door jambs on that Sebring, and those look like actual photographs of just beautiful women, and that's all airbrushed.
And he said that was 18,000 is what?
Yes, a 13 or 18 or some crazy amount of money. But it's just the pride that I mean, everybody takes pride in their rides, but this is a lifestyle. This is for them. It's heritage. They're proud of it.
You had mentioned earlier that you like riding so that you can see that in their faces when they're showing it off. And you definitely get that with this episode. These guys are so proud because they mention this is what saved me.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, because a lot of them are gangbangers. We're not talking. We're talking the real deal. These were
this
guys.
Episode was not filmed in Fargo.
No, this was down in Phoenix. These are guys that live the streets in like L.A. and they weren't messing around. These are guys that would they'd take care of you. I'm not talking in a good way.
Yeah.
And this for a lot of them straighten their lives around. But yeah, it's part of their culture and again the pride that they take in the work that they do, and just meticulous about everything. Everything is so perfect. It's unbelievable. But yeah, you don't see me. Number one, I wouldn't know how to drive that thing. I'd trash that thing so fast. But yeah, you and I were talking off camera earlier this morning. There's one vehicle, I'm positive it's only one, that I actually drove it because.
Yeah, that was the milk one.
The milk one,
yep.
Yeah. I want the camera to see the joy that the owner is showing off, with their face, them showing off, driving their vehicle. Me behind the wheel, the show's not about me, it's about them.
Right.
And there's some shows out there, national shows, where you'll see that, where somebody's great shows, but it drives me nuts. There's one in particular, but I'm not gonna call it the show, but it's like, dude, let the owner, I want to see the owner driving this thing. I don't care that it's not your damn vehicle.
Right.
I want to see that guy or that gal that put all that blood, sweat, and tears into that. I want to see them driving. I want to see their smile. And
I like what you're covering. I gotta watch more episodes. I gotta watch more seasons. I'm hooked now.
Good.
But the other
we'll get you one at a time.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Is it Ernie Adams?
Yeah, Ernie out in what is it? We're out there in Arizona. This west of Phoenix. Is it Paradise? Whatever. Yeah, out in the county out there. Yeah, the Dwarf Car Museum.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Getting to see the tools that he made to make those cars, the car that's made out of 9 different refrigerators, how small they are. Getting to see Ginger's haircut place, and she's got photos of the celebrities that have been there.
And Ginger was great. I mean, yeah, she knows the place inside and out. Yeah, Dwarf Car Museum was to see those cars in person. I mean, you can watch it on TV. And that's open. I believe they're open daily out there. Let's see if you see that sign I was telling you about. I won't see on camera, but I should. This isn't from the TV. This is.
No, he just went to the website.
Okay. The cars, to see them in person and to know that Ernie, every single part, even the rims.
Yeah.
He makes his own
the one
wire
spoke ones.
spoke rims.
He had a jig for it in the back. I thought, man, that's crazy.
All of it. And it is dead on the money. You don't look at him and go, yeah, it kind of looks like a 50 Merc. No, that is how the hell does a person have that kind of eye and that kind of talent to be able to take some of the greatest cars ever produced and look at that. I mean, and just drop them dead on the money.
Yep.
Right down, even the interior.
The patience that man has. You could just see it in the episode.
Yeah, it was, and then another. I saw the Dwarf Car Museum. I can't remember if it was Leno's Garage or if it was on Bitch and Ride. I can't remember. No, it wasn't been Bitch and Rides. Maybe a counting car. I don't know. But I just remember catching going, oh, that'd be a cool place. And
I think it was
phone
Jay.
Call, find out, oh, it's open. And we call them, say, here's what we want. And they're like, oh, yeah, please come down, film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were arms wide open, man.
The other one that
I don't mean to interrupt you, but what you don't see, and I thought for sure they put it in bloopers. My film crew is getting so pissed because when I'm done, my part only takes, usually if you're doing a car, anywhere from an hour and a half, but then it's hours of filming. So when they're filming down there, you'll notice in our episode, there's a big sitting area. They got a big table. The guys just hang on. Yeah, we're just sitting there drinking because I didn't have to drive. When we're on the road, Wes does all the driving.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there. We're all just sitting there drinking beer, getting buzzed up, having a good old time. And it was hot, man. It was flipping hot. There ain't no air conditioning in there.
Oh.
And you're out in the desert. And we're just drinking beers, just eating burgers, having a good time. My film crew was getting pissed.
You got us out here in this heat, dying.
Yeah. Well, there's bloopers because that was a whole episode too, and there's bloopers on the end, but those bloopers didn't make it where they're chewing my butt.
Yeah.
Why don't you grab a camera? Stuff? No, man, I did my job. My job is sitting here BSing with the guys.
Exactly.
Man.
You're building relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I tell my boss when I'm talking to people.
How's that work?
It works pretty good for me.
Yeah, if you're ever out there, like I said, it's just west. I can't remember what they call it. They call it, is it Paradise? I can't remember. It's just like an hour maybe west or so of Phoenix.
Maricopa,
that's it. Maricopa,
okay.
Yep. It's Maricopa. It's great, but you got to go check it out. And it got to the point because we got out there really early because we knew they opened at 9.
Yeah.
So we tried to get out there as early as we could so we didn't have to, try to film around
people.
And boy, people started rolling in.
Really?
But they were pretty cool about it. Ginger's fantastic because she was kind of like, she knew where we were filming, so she kind of started guiding people this way. And she just kind of knew, she kind of figured out how long it takes to do. So as we were moving around, she'd start moving doing the tour. So
it's not her first rodeo.
Exactly. Yeah, she knew what she was doing. That's for sure.
The other thing that I really liked was the misconceptions that you're able to try to prove or disprove, I guess. The Cybertruck.
Oh, yeah.
You said it in the episode, right? Like, man, a lot of people just kind of see this and think, who's this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, does it really work in the wintertime?
Yep.
It can't. And then you start going through all the features of what it actually does, and you think, okay.
So we were out actually. Alex and I were out in Dickinson for Prairie Cruisers because we go out there and do their car show and shake hands and have fun and MC with Donnie and that Cybertruck was out there. So I had my film crew with me. Now usually we get a lot of requests to come film at car shows. We won't do it because it's just too hard. There's too much background noise, too many people. They want to get around and you're trying to get shots.
And it's just showing instead of getting to the heart of...
But we figured, okay, let's bring the film crew out this year. We'll see if we can maybe get a couple things off to the side. And we filmed this. And then we got back to the hotel room, or my film crew got back to their hotel rooms, and they're going through stuff and going, Jay, there's just too much background noise.
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, James lives like 6 blocks from me. I've never seen this truck in my neighborhood.
Really?
I've never seen it in my neighborhood. I knew that there was a Cybertruck running around Fargo. Now there's multiple Cybertrucks. I knew there were. So we go back to the car show the next day. Say, hey, James, we're gonna have to redo this, dude. It's there's just too much. Where do you live? We'll set up a shoot and we'll try to get to you. He goes, well, I'm at so and so West Fargo. I'm like, dude, you're like 5-6 blocks down the road from me. I've never seen the damn truck in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I just had to zip down on a Friday afternoon and film it. But there's a lot of misconceptions. See, the whole electric car thing, I think the problem I know the problem people. The government tried to force these down our throat. And that's what pissed people off.
Yeah.
And what ticked me off. It's like, no, this is America. Let us decide. If I want an electric vehicle, I'll buy an electric vehicle. If I want a gas, I'll buy a gas. Now, they force dealerships. Okay, you have to have this many on your lot. Well, anyway, that's a whole other podcast.
Right.
So we're filming this, talking to James, and he's owned Teslas now for a while. He's still got his Tesla cars. And he's telling me, I've never had a problem. In the wintertime, nothing. Never had a problem where I couldn't. He said there was one place they went where they couldn't get a supercharger or something. But I will tell you, I've been in, I don't know if you know what Joey DeVito is, DeVito Racing here. He's got that Mustang.
Yep.
I've been in that thing, 1,700 horsepower, cranking it down. Terry out in South Dakota with his Super Bee. We're going through a neighborhood, and he kicks this thing down. That's 1,000 horse. I mean, I've been in some fast cars. I have never been anything like this
Really?
Cybertruck. We take it out on Main Avenue in West Fargo, and he barely touches it. You feel the G-forces. You're still like you're in a jet. It is that fast. I have never.
Didn't he say 0 to 60 in like 2.1
It's crazy.
seconds?
It's crazy. It's like, and there's no noise. There's no sound. All you can hear a little whine. That's just no sound at all. And I've never, because there's no RPMs. You don't have to build your you touch it. It goes. It's a rocket ship. Yeah, and that's the slow one he has. The Model Up is faster than that one. But no,
there you go.
You literally, it's the old thing. If I put it,
and there's the smile, right?
Yeah. So if I'm doing that, he ain't smiling. Look at him. He's having a blast. He's scaring the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't drive these things. I want the owner to have the fun, man. But yeah, that literally the old saying, back in the day, I can put $100 bill in a dash, I'm gonna punch it, you can't grab it. You can't move out of your seat when he punches that thing. You feel yourself getting sucked in. You cannot move. That's why you see my arms doing this.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to grab something because it's that fast. And I can't because of the power. Ugly as hell, but they are cool.
Would you ever get one?
I would.
Yeah.
Just to have fun. Because what guys are doing now is they're vinyl wrapping these things. So I'd come up with something crazy, But I would have to be a gazillionaire because Alex would kill me if I rolled up. She killed me years ago when I bought a brand new Hummer. Didn't tell her I rolled up with a brand new Hummer in the driveway.
You decided
I learned my
for
lesson
forgiveness.
then, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That one was pretty hard to beg forgiveness on.
Yeah.
But yeah, she would kill me if I rolled up with fun. I'm not kidding. For me, I have nothing against electric vehicles. I love to hear the sound of a V8. You know what I'm saying? The rumble of the exhaust. I like that. To me, that's a toy. It's a toy. For James, it's not. That's a word. He back and forth to Bismarck constantly. He's never had any problems. Something breaks down. A lot of times they can get on the computer and
fix it right
just
there,
do an
remote
update
in
or whatever. Or if something does break down, they just send a person out to
That's
fix it.
kind of a positive to think about. If there's an issue on the side of the road, you don't got to wait 2 hours for roadside.
Depending on what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, though, it's just, they can just get out a computer and reset something and away you go.
I mean, that's convenient.
That's
right
very
there.
convenient. But those are expensive.
Yeah. Way out of my price
I want
range.
to say, 100, 120? I think it's 120.
Oh, just chump change.
120 grand. Now I'm buying another classic at 120.
Yeah. So something I was thinking about earlier as we were talking, Dickinson especially.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound kind of silly when I say this. I didn't realize for the Toppers Car Show, the club, how like widespread it is.
Yeah, I'm a member of Toppers. I've been a member with them now, I don't know how many years. Great guys. Yeah, we get cars from, I mean, as far away as Nebraska. I mean, we get them from all over. And we're very meticulous, too, on that, going through submissions. One of the rules we have...
To be in the club?
No, to get a car in our car show.
Okay.
One of the rules that we have, and that's what makes the show so successful, is that if your car made the cut into the show, that car cannot be in the show for a minimum of 3 years. And then, even then, it would have to have had absolute radical changes to it to be considered again. You'll never see the same cars.
I did not know that.
Every year, the car shows to every year. And this year, last year, I think was, last year was our biggest year when it came to big 20-foot displays. This year, I think we have even more. I mean, the cars that, the people that send entries in that want to be in the show, it's unbelievable. And it's hard because you only have so much room.
I was just going to ask, are you guys going to have to update the facility that you go to?
No, because even if, let's say we went to the Fargo Dome, you're still going to have about the same amount of room once you throw the vendors in there, because we have both arenas.
Yep.
And we've had a relationship with West Fargo Parks for years now. They treat us fantastic.
Yeah.
So no, I don't ever see us leaving Veterans Memorial Arena, and it's easy access, plenty of parking in, out.
Right.
For loading, it's fantastic for guys loading and gals loading their vehicles in and out. No, I don't see us going anywhere when it comes to location. So
good deal.
But yeah, the cars that we get, man, they're over the top.
So how soon do you start taking entries for the car show?
You know, that's not my committee. that's a Rich Barnes saying. You know, I don't know. I'm a member, but I went inactive, which means I don't have to go to the meetings anymore.
Okay.
But I can't. I'm still a member, because once you're a member, you're a lifetime member, unless you get booted out. I don't think anybody's ever got booted out. But we're limited. I think I want to say 20 or 22 members. That's it. There's a limit. Yeah, they've got pretty strict rules.
So 22 like active members?
Well, that's every, no, there's only that many slots. Some of us are inactive. We're still members. When you go inactive, that means then you can go to the meetings and everything if you want, but you can't vote on anything.
Oh, okay.
But if you go active, then you got to be at the meetings. And the reason I went inactive, again, I'm still a member, but it just with the
everything
TV
you got going
and everything
on.
else, it's just like, and the meetings are in the evening. It's like, guys, this is too hard. I can't make these things. So yeah. So then you just go on inactive status. You still do stuff for the club, but you don't have any voting power then.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I want to say when I was active, I think late fall, start doing the entries. I believe it's late fall.
Yeah.
And they start rolling in.
Okay. Can I ask more about the Toppers
yeah.
Car Club?
Yeah.
Do you know when that got started?
This is, okay, so is this our 60th or 65th year? I think this is our 60th. So for sure 60 years, but I don't know if the club was together a year or two or whatever before they started doing car shows. But we know for sure, 65th, yeah. Yeah, we got Farm Truck and Asian coming this year. I had those two on my radio show last week before. They are flipping.
No way.
They're hilarious, man.
Yes, they are.
And they're bringing Farm Truck.
So, my partner for the last few years, he's been getting me into watching more car shows and whatnot. And I always love watching these guys.
Yep.
So I know exactly who they are. I'm super excited. I was already excited for Toppers, but
they're here this year, yeah.
That's
and like I said, they are bringing the Farm Truck.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And that thing is wicked. It's got a 632 Chevy in it. That thing is like almost 1,000 horsepower.
I did not know that they're coming.
What are you just like in a bunker all day long?
I'm traveling all the time.
Are you?
So all of our locations, I'm not here as often.
That's the excuse I used to.
Yeah, right.
You didn't know that, James? Like, I'm traveling all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, BS. You're not.
No way. Do you know how easy it is to get forgotten about when you're on the road?
Oh yeah.
When it comes to like communication and knowing about things?
Yeah.
And then you get back and you're like, oh, I wish someone would have told me that.
Yeah, no. My phone's nonstop. That's why my ringer's always off. It's just nonstop. Just doesn't end. Yeah, so yeah, that'll be cool having those guys there.
Farm truck.
So yeah, so the club for sure 65 years. Car club since 53. Like I said, I don't know if they had a car show the very first year that the club started, but that's amazing for a car club. For sure 65 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. A long time. A lot of history with Toppers Car Club.
What does Toppers do?
Well, we do the big thing. Our big money machine is the car show.
Right.
But that money, all that goes back to the community. We hand out checks to organizations, a couple thousand here, 3,000 there. We bought service dogs. That money is not for us.
Yeah, you're doing good for
we cover our costs, of course, of renting the arena and all that. But yeah, any money that we bring in, that is to give back to the community. And then of course we have West Fargo Cruise Night. That's we started that. I think this will be our 14th or 15th year of that.
And you guys have gained a lot of popularity with that cruise night.
We get 10,000 people out there. It's nobody can touch it. I love that all these towns are doing cruise nights. It's fantastic. Keeps the sport, the hobby alive. I love that. But nothing will beat to the success of what we built in West Fargo. And a lot of that, of course, it's Toppers, but a lot of it, Allison, it's the city. They've been fantastic from the commission to the police department to public. I mean, they know what this does for West Fargo.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I remember arguing with the old police chief. Because they wanted me to say, Jay, we want you to be part of this West Fargo cruise night. I said, well, to make this successful, you're not going to like this. And I remember it was the former chief, Mike Wright. I said, we got to have beer on the streets. No way in hell are people going to be walking down my streets with alcohol.
What?
I'm like, listen, it's not going to be some drunken intergalactic kegger party, okay? You got to realize that this is a different crowd.
Yeah, this isn't a college party.
And so we went rounds and rounds and wouldn't do it. And then the cruise night comes along and there's all these people walking around with a beer in their hand.
Yeah.
And they didn't even try to. What are you going to do? Bust all these people? So then we sat down. So he said, okay, here's how this is going to work. So worked it out. He said, Mike, it's going to be fine.
Yep.
Well, if this happens. Nope, understand. I completely understand. And so we got out there. Look, you know what? VFW took out was it the VFW? I think it was the VF, or was it Silver Dollar? I can't remember which one. Took out a beer permit. I did the beer tent outside. The rule is, okay, you can walk around the streets, beer, no glass containers, any of that. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Now we have never had somebody hauled out of there because they were drunk starting a fight. We've never had, at least that I know of, and I would think I would know, or Toppers would know, we've never had any incidences involving alcohol. Because people know, I always joke, but I'm serious. Because I do my radio show right from that trailer right there. I do it out there at the start of each cruise night. I always say, look, don't be the one to blow this thing, because if you're the one that blows it, I will make sure that you're called out for the next year on my radio show.
Yeah.
Don't screw this up.
Yep.
And everybody just has, it's a big like small town party.
And the people that are going to this, it's a party, but it's not something that's over the top, because at the end of the day, there's over $1 million worth of millions of dollars worth of cars on that street, and you don't want to be the guy that ends up falling into one of them.
Or the guy that does something stupid, the cruise nights cancel, or there's no more cruise nights, or there's no more walking around with a beer in your hand, or any of that. No, and we are done. We go from 4:30 to 9, June, July, August, September. We go 4:30 to 8 because it gets dark early. And that's for safety reasons. But it's crazy because everybody knows. You can see 1,200 cars down there, 10,000 people, And by 9:30 at night, you wouldn't even know that had taken place. It's that fast.
Yep.
The cars are out. The West Fargo Police Explorer kids come in, clean up.
Yep.
Never know. Other than there's still some barricades down there. Otherwise, you'd never know it was there.
I don't think you could get away with something like that in downtown.
They tried this. Actually, Fargo had the first cruise night. And that's where West Fargo saw it and went, hey, we should do that. Can we do that? Yeah, we can do that. They got a hold of Toppers. And this was before, I think became a member of Toppers like a year or two later. Said, yeah, we can do that. And that's when Toppers got a hold of me, City West Fargo. I'm like, Jay, we want you to be part of this. You know, your radio share car guy. But Fargo's failed. And Fargo's failed because the business owners, not all of them, but a lot of the business owners down there were bitching and complaining that you're taking this parking spots for my customers.
Yep.
And nobody had the courage to step up and say, look, see all these cars down here? These people got money.
Right.
So your customers are already here. A lot more foot traffic than you'd get on an average evening. Take advantage of it.
Right.
West Fargo, before we rebuilt that beautiful downtown area, even back then, the businesses knew. They'd put out sandwich boards. They do specials. They're like, wait a minute, there's going to be thousands of people down here. Furniture for less would have specials. All those businesses, they took advantage of it, and that's what take advantage of it. Fargo didn't do that. And there was no cruising. See, here you get to cruise. That makes a huge difference. There was one year for the first, or was it one or two of the cruise nights, we could not cruise because they were still doing construction on one of the buildings. There was no way. It was not the same. There was no sound of the cars. It was it was like dead silence. And then there were a couple folks, city, some club members even, said, you don't really like this no cruising. You can walk around the streets. It's like, no. There were so many people like, this is just not the same. So
we got to get it back.
We're cruising. You got to have the sound of them cars. We never thought, when it started, it would ever get as big as we had a couple of years ago, had a couple come up to me, introduce themselves. They wanted to let me know that they did their trip purposely to be at cruise night. They came from Sweden.
Seriously?
They saw cruise night. They were watching cruise nights, watched pictures and all that. And they had some friends that lived up here, and they purposely said we had to do our trip around cruise night because we had to actually come experience this. And they said they were shocked.
Oh, wow.
They could not believe how big it was and how much fun it was. And now the nice thing, too, now we do live music out there in the plaza. So, yeah, it's a good time. Car culture's alive and well in North Dakota.
That's for sure.
Well,
that's for sure. Well, hey, Jay, Sam and I, okay, Ty, we really appreciate you being on.
Oh, this was a blast just to come sit and BS and talk cars and
not have to worry about
it's a good time.
Schedule.
Oh, I'm still on a schedule.
Well, yeah.
But no, it's my schedule because my radio show, on radio, okay, you take your break here, I don't, and I have in years. I just do not follow conventional radio. That you got to take your break at 20 after. You got to take it. I don't do that, and that's been like that for years, and it drives the powers to be nuts.
Yeah,
because they're just old school radio guys. I'm like, I'm an old school radio guy. Okay, people. That crap doesn't matter anymore. If I've got a topic going and my phones are ringing nonstop, I'm not going, oh, hang on, okay, hold on, let me take a break.
Yeah.
We'll come back. No, we'll get the commercials in, but right now we're rolling. And that's why podcasting, I think, has become so popular, is because it's just free form, man.
Yep.
There's no, just let it buck, let it fly, and there's none of this, okay, we got to take a 10-minute commercial break. You just have fun. Yeah. Well, so I'm number 5, huh?
Yep.
So how did this start before we go?
Oh,
let me interview you. I get paid to do that.
Yeah. Right.
So Allison, how did you get in the podcasting world?
Sam is the
you're the
genius behind this. He's been a podcast guy for a really long time. And then you started getting into looking up the equipment and everything, right? It's mostly Sam's story, honestly.
Who do you want to do on a podcast?
I don't have people that I want to get to. per se, because we just started this.
Yeah.
But I really like people that have something to say.
You want the Sea Boys?
I mean, if we can
They
get
do,
them
they
on.
do my rides commercial for you guys.
We'd love to have them on.
That episode was one of the most viewed episodes. So if you go to our YouTube channel, I never plug our YouTube channel because we want eyes on television screens. That's where the money comes in. Our YouTube channel, this crazy story. So I go on it one day to load something on there, and the channel's been suspended because of violating community standards.
Oh,
It's like, are you kidding me? We could not get anybody at YouTube to give us an answer what we did. All we can think of is maybe it was trademark stuff or something. We're filming old signs and stuff, which that doesn't fall under that. We could never get a hold of anybody at YouTube. We never got that restored. You don't want to know how many viewers we lost that we had that were subscribers. Gone. So we had to start all over again. And we just don't push YouTube. But yeah, you can watch all our stuff's up on our YouTube channel. But yeah, it's like I was so livid. But that YouTube, when that episode, because we always put our episodes up on YouTube after they air on television. That Sea Boys episode, over the top views. It's like, are you kidding me? I mean, it was hundreds of thousands of views. But they are great. Their story's fantastic.
and they're just a bunch of guys living out their dreams.
Started when they're teenagers.
Yeah.
Multi-millionaires, man. That's them. Yeah. Great guys. No egos. Just having a blast. And yeah, their story is fantastic.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll reach out to, I'll reach out. I'll get your Ryan's number, Sam.
Well, they did one of our ads a few years ago, so we've done some stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The ads that ran this year on Rides was the ad they did. Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me.
This
I
has been
appreciate it. It's
awesome.
been fun. It's been fun just to sit and hang out and relax.
Yeah.
Only thing I should have brought a Miller J Life with me. But I still got to go do my real job.
Right. Yeah, you got to calm down a little
I gotta
bit.
calm down. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you, Allison. Sam, thanks, man. Been fun.
All right.
Thanks, guys.